President, Advocate Nelson Chamisa would like to update Zimbabweans, Africans and the world about the politics in this country.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sibanda. Thank you, colleagues. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate your coming. Of course, apologizing for us starting this conference a bit late. But I was trying to deal with our legal team just to make sure that we tie up our loose ends and we make sure that things are all in a row. Our ducks have to be in a row in terms of our matter. And we don't want to be 6s and 7s. And I'm glad that we've done very well. So my apologies. I want to take this opportunity first to thank members of the press for what I believe has been a fantastic appreciation of the developments in the country. We have covered our issues very well, and we want to thank you. Members of the fourth stage, you have done very well. We appreciate you, we thank you. Of course, we have issues with certain of the newspapers, like the Herald and the ZPC. We continue to urge them to be visited by Winds of Sanity so that they report things properly. We do not want to interfere with their editorial content and editorial policy, but we just kindly ask them to report accurately and to give fair coverage to all the players. Who knows? It might not be Mnangagwa the next morning. And if you are all rooting for a person who did not win the election, where are you going to be? So it's very important that you understand that the jury is still out, the decision has not been made, people voted, and people overwhelmingly voted for change. They overwhelmingly voted for this candidate, and this candidate is ready to assume office at the appropriate time. Mr. Mnangagwa was defeated in this election, and as I will indicate, we are urging you to accept that defeat and to be honorable enough, patriotic enough, and humble enough, revolutionary enough to accept the will of the people. Thank you very much. Fellow Zimbabweans, I wish to take this opportunity to address you as a way of thanking you and appreciate what I consider to be a very deeply touching and encouraging support from across the political party divide, from across all the regions of the country. It has been a very ringing and high-sounding message of solidarity as we continue to receive solidarity messages across the whole country, the continent and the world at large. In fact, one wonders who then voted for Mr. Mnangagwa. Because everywhere I've gone, in the rural areas, in the urban areas, in the high-density suburbs, in the low-density suburbs, at churches, all the denominations, I've never met a person who is celebrating. I've never met a person who is possibly saying that they are happy with Mr. Mnangagwa having been declared, because it's not tallying with what the people voted for. So I fully understand your anxieties as a nation around the upcoming court case that we are challenging after the subversion of the will of the people by ZEC in cahoots with some of the rogue elements that are in our midst. I would like to guarantee you that we have a very strong case and we are going to overturn this electoral fraud. Consistent with what we promised, we are going to defend your vote, our vote, the people's vote, the Zimbabwean vote. What is clear is that what is on trial is not Nelson Chamisa or the MDC Alliance. What is on trial is democracy. What is on trial is free and fair elections. What is on trial is a credible plebiscite. And this is why we are very happy that we've constituted and configured together an A-team of experienced, tested, and veteran legal experts drawn from the best minds in the region and in the country. These are led by our finest and our best in terms of legal minds. This team has been working tirelessly to protect the people's victory, your victory, within the confines and precincts and parameters of peace. And I'm saying we are very happy with the people of Zimbabwe for being patient, for being peaceful, for heeding to our call of peace, for heeding to our call of calmness, for heeding to our call of making sure that we protect our vote in terms of the law and in terms of the Constitution. We have been provoked. Our leaders have been subjected to persecution and harassment, but you have not succumbed to that temptation. You have resisted the temptation to throw the country into anarchy. You have refused to be cowed into submission. You have refused to be partners and co-partners in causing instability in this country. Merchants of violence, merchants of darkness have been romping and wreaking havoc, but you have refused to help them and give them a helping hand. I must say thank you, Zimbabwe, for being peaceful. We will continue to be peaceful, and we will continue to have confidence, not just in you as Zimbabweans, but also in the assurances that we have received from our legal team, which is, like I said, in 80. We do not expect to get anything less. The assurances are as good as gold, and I have no doubt that victory is certain and change is coming. I know that the nation is desperate for change. Change is coming and change will come. There can never be change with those who fight change, like Mr. Mnangagwa. There can never be change with those who do not believe in change, like those in ZANU-PF. So we have no doubt that victory is coming. And of course, we also want to debunk the myth that Mnangagwa and his party got the 2/3 majority. They did not. We are challenging most of those results, so they do not have a 2/3. They know that they engineered and rigged the election to certain constituencies in a brazen fashion, in a very flagrant manner. And for that reason, we are challenging a number of constituencies. We are going to give you the total number, but they do not have a 2/3 majority. They did not win the parliamentary election. Even in the rural areas where they've claimed that they won, they did not. They were given victory, which they did not deserve. And whoever gave them, this is what we seek, through the constitutional means and legal means, to reverse and invalidate. We ourselves are already working on a program of action to make sure that there's a total fulfillment of our vote. You voted for the alternative, you voted for opportunity, you voted for change, and we're already working and rolling out a program, a government work program, to make sure that we respond to our issues. You have seen how the dollar or the bond note has responded, the stock market has responded, the prices have responded, you in the communities have responded. There is totally no confidence in ZANU-PF. There is no confidence in Mr. Mnangagwa. This is why you have seen things going down south in terms of all the indicators in the economy. It's clearly a test of no confidence, a vote of no confidence in Mr. Mnangagwa, which vote of no confidence was emphatic in your voting. Yes, we must not be intimidated by anyone from anyone. We are masters of our destiny, and we are all liberators. For that reason, we have to make sure that we stand on our guard to defend our votes within the confines of peace, without being intimidated. Change does not come easy. The darkest hour is before dawn. We knew that we were going to go through this valley of unhappiness, the valley of persecution, but ultimately the summit of victory is going to be reached, and we're almost there. Yes, we know that without the change that we want, we are going to fall back again into intolerable poverty, suffering for the next 5 years. Even in that case, we do not want to go back to a situation where we wait for another 5 years by those who are seeking to subvert your will. There is no guarantee that if we wait for the next 5 years, Zimbabweans in the rural areas who are totally under captivity and slavery are going to be free there. We need to remove all the challenges and obstacles to free and fair elections now. And this is why we are challenging some of the issues in court, but also we are going to pursue a political program to make sure that we liberate people in the rural areas. They have not tested independence. For the past 38 years, people in the rural areas have been subjected to captivity. And one wonders, the behavior of colleagues in ZANU-PF is totally deplorable. They want to behave in a manner that Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda, ISIS would behave, using terrorism as a way of mobilizing consent in society. And that's what they do in the rural areas. Under normal circumstances, this organization would have to be examined to see if it is a normal political party that should be allowed in a democratic society. Because you can't use violence, you can't use terror as a basis of organizing society. And that's what ZANU-PF does. Yes, I've already said to our colleagues in SADC, I want to really appreciate the position that they took, that they did not congratulate ZANU-PF. They did not congratulate Mr. Mnangagwa because they know that he is not the winner. And I'm very happy and fortified by that position. Yes, some of you have said, oh, Mr. Mnangagwa was given the position of Deputy Chairperson of SADC, Organ Troy. That position is given to a country. It is not a Mnangagwa position. I will take up that position as head of state once the processes have been confirmed. It is not Mr. Mnangagwa's position. It is a country position that should be known. So we don't want people who celebrate nothing and they want to make it something. He has not been appointed. There is no confidence even in SADC. That's why he came back empty-handed. He was not celebrated, he was not honored. You know that Lorenzo was actually, President Lorenzo was congratulated. MPLA was congratulated, but not Mr. Mnangagwa. Because they know that the jury is still out. He has not won this election. The determination has to be made. The people voted and they cheated. So it has to be understood. And this is the message I have to SADC. Please help us help the African continent and help ourselves by making sure that you help us heal the division that is in the country. There is need for people to start to be on a permanent path to cure the illegitimacy, to cure the crisis that we have, the electoral stereotypes. That can only be done if SADC were to come in and start to help us negotiate a respectable exit for Mr. Mnangagwa, a respectable exit for those who have been voted out. That is very important, particularly in the context of our politics. To the international community, the road to the future of Zimbabwe, the rule of law, good governance, and observance of human rights passes through a fresh pair of hands and a genuinely alternative narrative and alternative politics. We represent such. To SADC, like I said, they are our regional guarantor of peace. You are the guarantors of peace, the guardians of prosperity and progress and freedom. It is important to make sure that you have a hands-on approach on the Zimbabwean situation. We will commit ourselves to peace, but of course we have all routes that are available. The legal route and the constitutional route is one of them. Beyond those, we also have political routes that we are going to pursue in the context of peace, in the context of the Constitution. We will mobilize, organize the people of Zimbabwe to make sure that their vote is protected, to make sure that their vote is guaranteed. And that we've done. Our first avenue is the legal route, the second avenue is the political route. To all the hopeful Zimbabweans, I want to thank you for the prayers, for the fasting. I know the bishop, the pastors, you are praying, all Zimbabweans, you are praying. Thank you very much for the prayers. Let us continue to be hopeful. The future is yours. You must always be mindful that no intimidation lasts forever. There is no window of despair that goes permanent. Harassment might come, but it's just for a short term. Zimbabweans, you are heroic people, a peaceful people. All the trials and tribulations you are going through are only but oil for you to be perfect for a new beginning. We will not be defeated by the enemies of progress, the enemies of light. This country is far too important to give up on and to give up on. Our future depends on all of us and the choices that we make. This is why we must never be discouraged by naysayers, doomsayers, and cynics who continue to tell us that the doors are shut. They are not. Change is coming, and change is going to be celebrated in this country. And we are ready for that celebration. Yes, it will take too long. It has taken long, but the process is always as difficult. As I said, the darkest hour is there before dawn. Above all, let us commit these next 3 days in prayer, as we pray for our nation, as we fast for our nation. I know that we'll make it. Our Almighty is always on our side. Like I said, God is in it. When I said it is not a slogan, I said it because it's a statement of faith. It's also a declaration of our faith and a declaration of what we know. God is in it. Whether it is in the summit or in the valley, our God is in it. And we know that God will stand for the people of Zimbabwe. I want to thank you. May God bless you. Thank you.
Except the court ruling, whichever way it goes, even if you lose.
We always make a forensic assessment at the appropriate and material time. We can't just accept a promise. We are going to accept once the process has been undertaken. We will assess that process and then make the appropriate pronouncement. What we can't do is before the fact to say that we will accept whatever comes. What about if the verdict is to hang us? We have not asked for that kind of relief. So why do you want us just to accept, from nowhere? We want to accept, once we have assessed the situation, to say, where are we? We have done our best to give a very credible case. Evidence is available, and we'll wait for, obviously, the adjudication of the matter.
In the run-up to the elections, we were very anxious to know if you were going to participate in these elections. And at some point, you contemplated pulling out. And then you came out saying that you have debunked the rigging strategy for ZANU-PF. And you are so sure that you are going to win the elections. You said you were going to thrash them because you know all their corners. What happened now? You are complaining about rigging in all but 210 constituencies, including the presidential.
In fact, you have just confirmed what I said. We won the election, and you know it. We got them because the rigging that they did, we now have the evidence.
But why were you rigged? You said you know how they rigged.
Would you blame an innocent person for a thief who has broken into the house?
Yeah, but you were aware. You thought you would put safeguards to that.
We have safeguards, and that's why we want the court of law to declare, and that's why we are in court. We have the evidence. We did put in place the anti-rigging unit. That's why we know the actual results. And that's why we know the way they've cheated. And that's why Chipumba is 6 and 7 on these issues. That's why they continue to revise Mr. Mnangagwa's figures downwards. And we don't know where they're going to stop. Yes. So, I want you to be very clear. We won this election. It's not an easy thing for us to garner the millions of votes that we garnered. Then Mr. Mnangagwa's so-called millions of votes are actually fiction. Well, some are engineered, some are produced on his behalf, declared on his behalf, some are forced in terms of assisted voters, some are actually command votes, where they to command people and commandeer them into voting for them. And some they've multiplied, relying on statistics. And Mr. Mnangagwa's statistics are very funny. 10 plus 4 equals to 40.
1, 2, 3.
Tafumana Islami, can you confirm that your legal team has submitted all the necessary bundles of the evidence to the Constitutional Court?
Well, like I said, I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of the court because it's sub judice, but everything has been done to make sure that we have our day in court. And as an officer of court, I have a duty to respect court processes as they are undertaken, so that I don't then end up, fighting unfair outside the confines of the court. But I can tell you that we have an A legal team, the best team ever. I know that Mr. Mnangagwa admires my team.
My name is Lucy Yasin. I'm a freelance journalist. I wanted to know, you are calling on SADC to come and assist in Zimbabwe situation. Do you trust them considering how they handled the same situation 2008 and before?
When you have parents, when you have an aunt, it's not a question of trust. It's a question of respect. We respect them because they are the guarantors of this region. So we count on them. And we count on them because of the honor that we bestow upon them, but also because they are the guardians of regional stability and integrity. So it's not a question of us trusting them or not trusting them. It's a question of the respect that we have for them and the duty that they have to undertake in the context of regional integration. So we are counting on it. We have run to our auntie, SADC, we hope that they will deal with our own marriage, which is on the rocks because of our colleagues in ZANU-PF, who are very abusive. Thank you, Lucy.
Karen Paida, Zim Papers Television Network. You mentioned that you are contesting a number of constituencies. Can you give us a figure, if possible?
Well, I didn't want to give the figures because we're just finalizing on the areas where we are going to focus on, but over 18 constituencies where we are contesting. And I can tell you that so far we've done 21, but it's even going to go ahead with about 40 constituencies where we had anomalies. But we're also assessing the quality of evidence so that we have areas where we have real evidence of what they did. For example, areas where they were using assisted voters, forcing even teachers to say you can't write, and people would be assisted. Areas where we had overvoting, areas where we had command voting, village heads being polling officers, on behalf of ZANU-PF. All those areas are going to be challenged. Malpractices that are well documented are going to be challenged. But like I told you, there can never be deception that lasts forever. ZANU-PF know that they are sitting on the foundation of deception and lies. They will not win an election in this country. Mr. Mnangagwa was defeated in this election, and he must concede defeat. We defeated them even in the parliamentary constituencies. Look at it now. We have over 23 mayors that belong to the NDC. We control all the major cities and metropoles. We control 70% of the taxpayers and those who pay and actually contribute revenue. I don't know what Mr. Mnangagwa controls, but we have 70%. Even in the rural areas, they are also saying we are not controlled by him. So who is he supposed to be leading? Who voted for him? Find out if you may ask. Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, I'm like from ANC. There are reports that some members of the legal team, especially Advocate Darifov and Temeka Mukaito, haven't been given a green light to argue in court. Have you resolved that?
We are resolving that. In fact, we are working further to make sure that there is no obstacle to our teams doing our best. I mean, they should not be afraid of our team. We don't target members of our team because we are afraid of the A game that we are going to deal. And of course, people like Ziambi are also interested in your parties. They can't be fair arbiters on this matter. But we will deal with that. We are already dealing with that, and our legal team is well seized with the matter. It's being sorted out.
Sophia Makwana, there are reports that we have international journalists that are coming to here to see our case. Have you reached out to the international community? And you, as the NGC has reached out to the
Thank you, Sophia. Not particularly to the ICJ, but we welcome any kind of international spotlight. I've reached out to a number of countries. I've met with a number of international diplomats, the European Union and the United States of America, to try and sensitize them on the need for us to have a fair process in the country. And I'm happy with the kind of support and solidarity that we are getting. It's so exciting and encouraging. There is solidarity with the people of Zimbabwe, and we're happy. Thank you very much. Two last questions.
Does the system allow you to continue to submit evidence that you are continuing to unearth?
Well, I think the court processes leave them. We are happy with what we have done so far. We continue to unearth more evidence, but of course it's also just for aesthetic value and cosmetic value to add to what we already have. The stenum of our argument is already made, and we've already submitted our papers, and we are happy with what our lawyers have done. We have a good team. They've done a good job, and they've made good assurance. I'm so excited with what they've done. It's working. Thank you. Thank you very much. I also want you to just help me welcome our chairman, Committee, who was obviously arrested for saying that Chigumba announced a result that was not accurate. But Chigumba confirmed that by revising the result downward, meaning to say that she agrees with our chairman, that she was announcing something other than a real result. So, welcome, Chairman. One of our heroes in the struggle. I would have wanted Mr. Biti to be here. He's in court. You know, some of those people who have been persecuted unnecessarily for no apparent reason. Why should we go to an election so that you persecute people after the election? Why are you punishing us for being civil, for being polite, for love and peace? Why? Because those who do not agree with you would have taken other routes. But we want a peaceful route. And why are we being victims? For being people who are following the law. But we know that when you are asking for a high price, peace always comes in a very high cost. And we are ready to pay that cost. So thank you, Makovich. Thank you, our leaders. We shall remain committed and faithful to our case. And until we get the inauguration through legal and constitutional means, we shall not rest. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you.